super fun, low to the ground. If you have blocks, especially 2 blocks, it's a great prop to have for this pose. So I recommend finding them, pressing pause, grab them and come back, okay? We're gonna start in tabletop position, but we're gonna do a little variation on this one. So this one we're using eagle legs instead of having our knees apart from each other. Walk the left knee into center, crossing the right knee over the left until it's back down on the ground. And then we begin to shift our hips back. And come forward again. And notice if you can bring your feet closer together, or if you need more space to find stability in your body. And then draw the hips back again. And then forward. If you're able to get them super close together, maybe you can squeeze your legs so far towards each other that your left foot can cross over the right calf. Yeah, kind of crazy. And then come down to both forearms. And find a steady gaze, something unmoving. And listen to your breath. If you're feeling really wobbly here, continue drawing the belly up into the spine, maybe finding a little dome in the back. Keeping your shoulders relaxed if you can, your fingers relaxed. And if you like, scoot the hips back another inch or 2. You'll feel this in the hips, maybe along the legs. And then walking yourself back up, unwinding the feet. Okay, this time the right foot comes into the middle, the right knee into the middle of your mat. The left knee goes out straight, crosses over. And the closer you have your feet together, the more wobbly you're gonna feel. So if this is still super insane, especially the first time you've done it, just bring your feet out further apart. And then push the hips back. And forward. Maybe if it felt solid when they were close together, take that right foot, lift it off the ground to try to wrap it over the left calf, and wherever you are, finding ease so you can shift the hips back to come down onto one elbow at a time. Let the head soften, belly draws up. It's like we're doing a little core activation here. Drawing those lower ribs closer to the hip bones. We'll be here for about 3 more breaths. Really draw the ribs in a little more. Feel the lift of the back spine. And then coming back up onto both hands, uncrossing the feet. Kick that left leg back out and down. Tucking the toes and then coming all the way up into a standing position, into triangle pose. So we'll start with that right foot forward, left foot back. And the back foot is pivoted down to an angle where the heel is slightly out from the toes. Inhale, reaching your arms out wide, pushing that little hip, the left hip out, out, out and away, while your fingertips reach towards the front of the mat. Keep reaching while the left hip draws away until eventually your legs and hip will be saying, okay, that's enough. And then drop your hand down to your leg. Left arm reaches up. And you might notice or not notice your feet here. So bring awareness back into your feet, especially the outer edges of your feet. After a few breaths, maybe your hand can come down a little deeper. If you have your block nearby, feel free to use that. And just like we were doing in that tabletop position, remember about the belly button, the navel, the spine. Do a little bit of that. Maybe not as exaggerated, but a little bit. We'll do 2 more breaths here. Inhale, slowly rising back on up. Walking the feet out a little bit further away from each other, bending that right knee, coming into extended side angle. Right elbow, right knee, Top arm comes down, 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 and then up overhead. So if you'd like, take a moment. I invite you to look down at your foot. Is it still pointing forward? Is your knee stacked over your ankle, or is it drawing itself in or out? Trying to stay in the center of our body. And then if you have your block, finding your block and placing it on the inside edge of your front foot or your front ankle, and then coming back into your extended side angle. Working on finding one straight line from your back of your heel all the way through your fingertips. If this feels okay and you want to bring your hand down a little bit lower, lower the block, or hand can come down to the floor. And let's bring the left hand down to give ourselves a little break there. We're working more on hip action here. And if you're able to get your hand down to the ground, keep dropping that shoulder. Drop the shoulder. See if you can get it close to your knee, and then start to walk your hand underneath your leg, reaching for the block, or maybe finding the ground. And just staying here for 2. 1, walking your hand back in, coming to center. Flat back here, take 1 inhale. How's that right side feel compared to the left? And then slowly pivoting your feet, so now the left toes are pointing towards the back of your mat. Got hiccups. And the right heel is a little further out than the right pinky toes. About 1 spine length here. Yes, very accurate. And I'm gonna bring this block towards the back of my mat so it's there in case I need it. Inhale, reaching those arms out long, and then start to draw the right hip back, the left arm forward. And keep reaching, reaching, reaching until you can't go any longer. About there for me. Left hand drops down to the leg, right arm comes right on up. And so as you can see, my hand's not on the ground, it's not on my toes. If for you, you need to be a little higher up, go ahead. We don't want to feel pain here. You want to notice a little stretch, a little sensation, but not that, ow, this hurts. If it hurts, then why would you do it? That's for everything in life. If it hurts, why are you doing it? 2 more breaths here. Belly button into spine, just a little bit. All right, slowly drawing yourself back up. Walking the feet a little further away, bending into the knee. Slowly drawing the elbow down. Right arm comes down, down, down. Circles itself up. Extended side angle on the other side. So before I even reach my hand down to the ground, I like to feel, how's my body feeling right now? And then finding your block, maybe placing your hand down to the block, and you can choose which setting you'd like to go to. The right hand can lower down to your hip or keep it reaching up overhead, it's up to you. And then slowly begin to drop that left shoulder closer down to your knee, bending the elbow here. And maybe you stay here, or maybe you slide the hand behind the leg and reach. Beautiful, exhale. Right hand lowers, coming back to center. Right hand to the center of your mat, flat back. And then exhale, walking your feet closer together, coming down to your knees. Okay. Coming into Marichiasana, at least a variation of it. So the right foot's gonna come in, and the left foot will draw itself here where the knee is pointing up. Moving with our hips here. Act as though we have a towel right here. Begin to shoot your chest forward. Keep drawing the chest forward, maybe walking your hands out to support you. And then walking your hands out as though you're flying. And so with each breath, you're elongating the spine, sending the heart a little more forward. And on the exhale, softening. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, soften the belly. Maybe your head can reach down to the ground. And then walking ourselves up. Bringing that left foot out a little bit further so we can scoop the left shoulder underneath. And try the same action again. And then this time drawing our thumbs down and reaching behind our back, seeing if our thumbs can touch. You're making a little diamond back there. Maybe you can interlace your fingers behind your back. If you can't, no worries. But if you were able to, begin to lean back, allowing your arm to lift to the leg. Exhale, lowering the foot. Let's try that one more time. Lean back to lift the leg. And exhale down. Okay. So finding our blocks and bringing one to each side. The right leg can kick out long here. We're gonna go into elephant trunk pose from here. And this is a nice little pose to prepare us for 8 angle pose. So we're gonna do the action we just did where we dropped the left shoulder underneath the left knee, right in between. And then lifting that foot, leaning back. So you may need to lift the leg to get it a little higher. And before we go anywhere, squeeze that knee. Really squeeze the knee around your arm. It's giving it a hug. It's saying hello. Your left hand can come down to the block or the floor, right hand to the block. If you chose blocks, one on each side. If you chose the floor, that's okay. You can try here. And then whenever you're ready, keep squeezing the knee. Push your arms into the block to lift the hips. Okay? If you're able to lift the hips, maybe lean back slightly so that right foot can lift up. For 3, elephant. 2, 1, exhale. Whoa, come down. Shake it out. Okay, let's do the other side. Left foot draws in, right knee comes up. Walking our hands forward. Moving with our breath. Arms go out wide. Head begins to soften. Neck begins to soften. And then walking your hands back in. Right foot comes out slightly so we can draw that right arm underneath. Left arm comes back out. Lifting the arms as though we're flying, and then thumbs point down, 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 reaching behind your back, bending the elbows. Making that little diamond shape if you can, interlacing your fingers even better, finding a towel, just as great. And then if you find that bind, slowly begin to lean your weight back, and your foot will lift and down. So notice the activation in your core here. Feel the belly draw into the spine. Yeah, let's do that one more time. It's almost like elephant trunk. You can see it, right? That leg is lifted. Now what you can do is lengthen that left leg here. You can keep that leg lifted by squeezing your knee. Maybe your blocks are still nearby. Finding your blocks. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Lift the hips, pushing your arms straight as can be. Whoa, this is a lot. If you want to try, now lift that right heel. Lift it for 3, 2, can you smile? 1, exhale, lower. Okay, that was a doozy. We're gonna do it again though. This time maybe try without the blocks. We're gonna go to the left side into 8 angle pose. So 8 angle pose, we start with elephant trunk. We draw that left shoulder underneath, pressing the left hand down while the left knee hugs that left arm. Right hand comes down. Then instead of keeping that right leg straight, bending to cross that right foot over the left. Like a little pretzel. Okay, now what? Now what indeed? Straighten the arms, keep squeezing that knee, and then begin to squeeze those legs towards each other, trying to draw the inner thighs in, and then lean the chest forward. Oh gosh. 8 angle pose, and draw the arms, hips back down. Okay, let's do the other side. This time, right shoulder underneath, right hand comes down while I hug my knee, left foot crosses over. Pushing my hips off the ground, squeezing those feet together, and then maybe straighten the legs while squeezing my legs in, and Sending my chest down halfway like chaturanga and holding for a breath or two. And then maybe you fall. And if you fall, that's okay. That's how we learn, by failure. And learning that muscle memory in our body. And the more we do, the more we practice, the less fear we have around falling on our face. And our body starts to develop memory so we can one day find our way with ease and steadiness into 8 angle pose. Thank you for joining me. Like and subscribe. If you'd like to see more videos, let me know. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.